Good afternoon. So it's ages since I've done a live on this page, so I thought it was about time that I came and said hello. And it's the perfect time of year to talk about planning. So I don't know about you, but I've been having a lot of conversations with kind of fellow business friends, clients, people in my group about planning because we're in December. We're nearly at 2021 and everyone's starting to think about, what's going to happen next year. How can we start to get ready for the year to come? How can we make sure that it's going to be a good year for our business? So I wanted to come and share a really, really simple kind of planning framework that I use in my own business and that I use with my clients. And it helps you in a really kind of quick and simple way to get a 12-week plan plus strategy, I should emphasize, set up for your business. It doesn't take long. You can get this process done in probably about 30 minutes or so. Um, Assuming you're not an overthinker. If you're an overthinker, then it can take a bit longer to make decisions and stuff, but I can talk you through that as well. So if you are at that point in your business when you're starting to think about 2021, you should be making a plan. You perhaps don't know where to start. Perhaps you've tried starting and you keep getting stuck. Then hopefully this is going to be super, super helpful for you. So before I dive into the good stuff, let me first introduce myself. My name is Colette Broomhead, and I'm a business coach. I work with mums who have service-based businesses. So basically, anyone who works with clients, any mum who works with clients, and I help them to get more clients. And my focus is helping mums create a strategy to get consistent clients so that it's no longer, you don't have that feeling of like not knowing where the next client's coming from, because no one wants to be permanently running their business like that where you're never quite sure where the next check's coming from. So I work with mums to help put things in place so that they can bring in clients consistently and predictably, and can achieve consistent 5k months. So that's me in a nutshell. I'm also a mum. I started my business back in 2016, and my background before that was corporate. 13 years of corporate customer service and marketing and sales, and all of that good stuff. So that's me. Let's get into planning. So I'm going to take you through this 5-step process, and believe me, it's super, super simple. And remember when I first started my business, and I heard people talking about business plans, and it just seemed like something that was going to be really complex, and I didn't really know what I needed to include. And the plan that I'm talking about here is the plan that you need in order to know what you're doing, what to focus on, in order to make sure that the time that you have, that you're spending on your business is time well spent, that's productive time, focused time, and that's actually going to lead you closer to your goals. So that I'm not talking about the kind of business plan that you might be putting together for your bank, for example, if you were going to go for a loan. This is like a business plan and strategy for you to help you get to your goals. So step one of any good business plan is to start at the end, and that is, where do you want to end up? So this, what we're talking about today, is a 12-week business plan. So where do you want to be 12 weeks from now? And the most important goal that you need to set, that everything else is going to kind of stem from, is income, because you're a business, and so you need to be making some money. So the very first goal you need to think about is, in the next 12 weeks, how much money do I want to make? Now, I want to kind of just say a word about goal setting, because this can be a tricky subject. People, especially money, because we don't really know what number to choose. It can be a difficult one. It's like, can I do this? Should I pick what's realistic? And depending on who you listen to when it comes to goal setting, there are definitely differing beliefs out there. So if you're aware of SMART goals, which are commonly used in corporate, so if you have a corporate background, you've probably heard of SMART goals. That's all about choosing goals that are achievable. So making sure that the goal that you set is something that's actually achievable, which kind of makes sense. However, there's another school of thought that says, sod that, let's choose a goal that's going to inspire us. Let's choose a massive, like, big scary goal that's going to really, really push us, and inspire us and kind of force us to go out of our comfort zones. And there's value in that too. So my take on this is it's about finding the balance between the two things. Because if you set a goal that's too safe and too achievable, there's kind of not much point in setting that goal, because all you're doing is you're saying, if I keep doing what I'm doing, that's probably what's going to happen. That's not so much a goal as a kind of vague prediction. And what you want to be doing is putting a marker in the sand and giving yourself something to aim for. And as a business, you probably want to be growing, you probably want to be improving your results. And the only way to do that is by setting yourself a goal that's going to make you do something different, that's going to push you out of your comfort zone. So playing it too safe isn't great. However, if you pick a goal that's so crazy, so big, so inspiring, that actually as soon as you set that goal, deep in here you're already thinking, yeah, but I'm not going to do that, then that's also kind of pointless, because you kind of set yourself up to failure. As soon as you set a goal that you don't believe you're going to achieve, you're probably not going to push yourself that much for it, because you're not, you don't think you're going to do it. So you're kind of almost setting yourself up for failure right from the start. So if you can find that number that feels somewhere in the middle, that's like a push, it feels a bit scary, it feels a bit like I'm going to have to go for this, but also you believe you can do it, then that's probably the right number to go for. But don't overthink it. One thing, again, that's also important to remember when it comes to goals is this isn't about getting the right number. This isn't about being a fortune teller. And especially when you're in the early days of your business, if you're not used to planning and if you haven't done a lot of goal setting in the past, then there is an element of that. There's an element of guesswork because you don't have anything else to go by. Once you start doing this on a regular basis, which hopefully you're going to be doing, and hopefully this system is going to help you do that, then you're going to be looking back over your previous results. You're going to be looking at, well, how far off was I? And that then makes it much easier to set goals that are probably going to be more accurate. But at the beginning, it is just a case of kind of going, right, what feels good? What is going to excite me? What's going to push me? But what do I believe that I can do? Okay, so that's my piece on goal setting. So you want to start with your revenue goal, and then from that, you'll want 3 more strategic marketing goals to add to your plan. Okay, and those goals are sales, and this leads, it's all very logical. So once you've set your income goal, this is how much I want to make in the next 12 weeks. Naturally, then the next step is to then think, in order to make that much money, how many of my offers do I need to sell? Now, you might have more than one offer, in which case you can kind of break it down and kind of go, well, I've got, my one-to-one at this price. So if I sell 3 of those, and then I've got my group at this price. So if I sell that to 8 people, then you can work it out. But you need to work out how much you need to sell in order to hit that income goal. That is the next logical step. And it's amazing how many people go through the planning process without working this out. And it's a really important thing to work out, because at the end of the day, it's gonna give you a really good indication as to whether that income goal is realistic. If you suddenly realise that you need to sell, 100 one-to-one spots, maybe that's not realistic. Maybe then you need to have a look at what needs to change. Maybe your pricing needs to change. Maybe your goal needs to change. Maybe there needs to be a change for both so that they can kind of meet in the middle. But you need to go through that process so that you can identify whether there are any potential problems. So the next one, so we've got our income goal, then we've got our sales goal. The next logical step below that is leads. So in order to make a sale, you need to have a lead to sell to. And if you're not sure what I mean when I say leads, this is simply someone in your audience who is at the point where they're ready to buy. And the way we can tell where people are kind of at that point potentially, it's people who have, if you've got an email list, if someone's signed up for your email list, just the process of them giving you their email address is them kind of making a mini commitment. It's them raising their hand and saying, I'm interested in what you have to say, I'd like to know more. And that's an indication that they're a lead. Another type of lead you might have is if you've got a Facebook group. Again, someone requesting to join your group. It's someone saying, I'm interested in what you're saying, I want to stick around, I want to hear more. And so it's an indication that potentially they're going to be ready to be sold to. Also, If people are booking discovery calls, perhaps you use discovery calls. If you're a coach or a consultant or a freelancer, you might use discovery calls as a way of getting clients. If someone has booked a discovery call with you, they're a lead because they're basically saying, I'm interested in talking to you, let's chat. So anything like that, anyone who's kind of showing you that they're interested in some way is classed as a lead in marketing terms. So you need to think, if I'm going to make so many sales, how many leads, so let's take the example of a coach. Let's say you have set your target and you know that you need to book in the next 12 weeks 5 new clients. Okay, and in order to book clients, you have discovery calls. So you might then say, well, I convert about 25% of my discovery calls to clients. So in order to get 5, I'm going to need to speak to 20 people. So I'm going to need to book 20 discovery calls. So that's your next goal. I hope that makes sense. If you're watching this and you're not sure what I mean, feel free to pop a question in the comments. So we've got our income goal, we've got our sales goal, we've got our lead generation goal. The final goal is audience, because in order to get someone to be a lead, they need to know you exist. They need to actually have seen your business in some way. They perhaps have landed on your Facebook page, perhaps watched a Facebook Live that you're doing on your Facebook page. Perhaps they have seen a blog post that you've written or watched a podcast interview that you did or something like that. They need to discover that you exist in order to get to the point where they can ever become a lead or in fact a client. So those are the goals. You've got your income goal, your sales goal, your leads goal, and then your audience goal. Okay, and from there you will create your plan. So that's step one. Step one is simply setting those goals, because if you don't know where you want to get to, it's very difficult to create a plan to get there. So that's step one. Step two, and again, any questions, do let me know. Hi to whoever's watching. Say hello. Step two, break down into work streams. So in case you're wondering why I keep doing this, it's because I've got notes down here so I don't forget what I'm saying. Once you've got those goals, you want to break each of those goals down into a separate work stream. So you'll have a work stream. You don't need a separate income one, because the goals that we created are the work streams that you need to make the income. So you'll have a work stream for sales, for leads, and for audience growth. And then under each of those, step three, you're going to create strategies to achieve those goals. So let's think of some examples. Say, for example, for your audience growth, you have said, I want to attract 1,000 people to my website, to my blogs in the next 3 months. I want to get 1,000 views on my blog. Okay, that's a way of building your audience, right? So that could be one of your goals, one of your strategies. So you're going to kind of create sort of almost like sub goals under each of those high level goals that we talked about in point one. So you might kind of go, okay, well, what does audience growth look like for me? It looks like growing my Facebook page and building my blog views. So I want to add 50 people to my Facebook page, and I want to get 1,000 views of my blog in the next 3 months, as an example. How am I going to do that? So then you're going to think about the activities that you can do that will actually help you to achieve those goals. So for starters, if you're thinking about the blog views goal, writing a blog post, writing a regular blog post is going to help bring you views to your blog. So you might add as a strategy, I'm going to write a weekly blog post. What else can you do to get views to your blog? Well, I'm going to promote that blog post. So twice a week, I'm going to promote my blog post on social media. What else could you do? I am going to include I'm going to do guest lives. I'm going to go and do guest lives in other people's groups, and I'm going to promote my blog in there. Okay, and you can start to think of the types of ideas that you want to come up with. You might come up with like 3, 4, 5, and this is going to depend on how much time you have and all of that kind of stuff. But you want to come up with a nice list of ideas as to how you can achieve those goals. Okay, hope this is all making sense. Again, let me know if you have any questions about any of these points. So you've got your goals. Step one, you've created your goals, your kind of high level marketing goals. Step two, you're breaking each of those goals down into its own little work stream and creating kind of strategies as to how you're going to achieve them. Okay. Step three, once you've got your strategies, so let's keep on with the example of the blog views, right? You then want to break that down into specific tasks. And this is where we get into the real nitty gritty. And this is this is the magic, really, because this is where, if you can go through this process, you can come away with literally a step-by-step plan of exactly what you need to do in order to achieve those high-level goals that you set in step one. So let's go back to our blog example. So we had that initial high-level goal of audience growth. We then broke that down into what does that look like for my business? Well, for my business, audience growth is going to be in adding people to my Facebook page and attracting people to my blog. So we used the blog example. I'm going to add 1,000. I'm going to get 1,000 views of my blog in the next 3 months. Well, how am I going to do that? I'm going to write a weekly blog post. So now, when we're breaking it down into tasks, we now need to think, well, what does that involve? Okay, to write a weekly blog post, I need to research and plan a blog post. Then I need to actually write it. I need to create images for it. I need to upload it onto my website. Okay, and you're going to literally list out the tasks that you need to do in order to complete that strategy. We said we were going to promote the blog post on social media twice a week. So I need to create 2 social media posts and maybe separate graphics for those, perhaps. Okay, so we're listing out all the tasks, and you're going to do this for each one of your strategies that you've chosen for each one of your goals. So in all of those work streams, you're going to be going through this process. And then the next thing is you're going to add some timescales. And this is really, really helpful. And it doesn't need to be super exact, but you're going to add rough timescales to each of those tasks, because that's going to help you see how long it's going to take you. And again, it's going to show you if you're being realistic about your time. You may find that actually, oh wow, I've got tons more time than I thought. I can add more strategies in. Or you may think, whoa, I need to scale this back, or I'm going to end up being super overwhelmed. And either of those things is really helpful to know in advance, because what often happens is we give ourselves all these things to do, but we never actually really work out whether we have the time to do them. And then when we don't, we end up feeling overwhelmed, we end up feeling like a failure, and it doesn't feel great. So this is a really, really good habit to get into. So go through that task list. So our blog example, I'm going to be writing a weekly blog post. I know that means I need to plan it, I need to write it, I need to upload it, I need to create images. I know that whole process takes me 3 hours, say, as an example. So I'm going to put 3 hours down. To create my social media post to promote that blog, that's going to take me 30 minutes. And you'll do this through this whole process, and then you have an idea of exactly how much time you're talking about and how long all this stuff is going to take you. And then our 4th point, so you've now got all your strategic goals, all your strategies, and the tasks that you need to do in order to complete them. However, we know as business owners that there's other stuff that comes up too. There's other stuff that we need to do in our business that isn't directly revolved around, marketing and our sales. Things like answering emails, and admin, doing our accounts, all of that kind of stuff. So that's when we need to add in those additional tasks, because we need to make sure that we're allowing time for those as well. So you're going to then create a separate kind of miscellaneous additional task list, and you're going to go through the exact same process. I know I need 30 minutes a day to respond to emails. I know I need an hour a month to do my accounts, okay, and so on. And then the final step is to plot it out, to get your calendar and to actually plot out, to take those tasks and put them in your calendar, so you literally know day to day exactly what you're working on, and you know that it is taking you towards your goals. It's taking you towards very specific, focused, strategic results that you have planned out. And that's it. That's it. So I hope that was helpful. As I say, if you're watching this in the replay and you have any questions at all, just give me a shout and I'll be happy to answer them. I also wanted to invite you over to my Facebook group. If you're not already a member of Fully Booked Mums, it's a fantastic group. Come and join us. There's 750 plus mums in there, women in business, all friendly, passionate. We have weekly workshops, we have guest lives, we have tons of opportunities to kind of network. We have monthly G&T Q&As, because I like to come up with excuses to drink gin and work at the same time. And tomorrow I am doing a monthly planning session. So I'm taking these points and we're putting them into practice. and actually doing some planning. So if you would like to come and join us, I'm going to pop a link in the comments. Do come and join us. I'd love to see you in there. And I shall be back again with another training session next week. So I shall see you then. Take care.